What's up, guys? My name is Avery Gusset. I'm here at Call the Huddle with former Arkansas linebacker as he's preparing for the draft, Grant Morgan. He's a great player. He's got one of the best stories you'll hear in college football. So what's up, Grant? How you doing, man?
I'm good. Just excited to be able to talk to you and be able to do this. I've never really went live before, so I'm excited to have those.
Okay, yeah, no, it's fun. I'm definitely stoked to talk to you, talk football a bunch today, get to know you, get my fans to know you. So first, I'm going to start off with a few quick questions, if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
All right. So for the first one, I want to know, Jordan or LeBron for Mr. Morgan?
I'm a Jordan guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love LeBron. I think he's the best of our time. But I'm a Jordan guy. I think it's because I just grew up my dad always pushing it. But I think there's kids in our age that they've never watched a full game of Jordan, so it's hard to compare them and hard to argue about it. But Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got to disagree seeing what LeBron did the other night, but his athleticism is crazy. I like that, though. So for the next one, I got to hear Xbox or PlayStation?
Oh, I'm an Xbox.
Okay.
Recently, I wanted the PC. So
Really?
So much better than both of them.
Huh. All right. Drake or Kanye?
I said Drake. I say overall, he's a producer. He does everything. He produces things people don't know about, and I think he's one of the best entertainers of all time. So
for sure. They're both great, honestly. They just released that documentary about Kanye too, and him as a producer and everything. They're both great, honestly. Can't go wrong.
For sure.
So I know you played a long time at Arkansas. Just tell me as a fan, NFL or college football?
I don't know. I guess my answer should be NFL right now, right? Because that's the only place I can play. I would say college football has a different passion. The fans have a different way of watching because the guys who are playing are guys who are in college. They're not making the big time bucks like they do in the NFL. But the fans in the NFL, you see how crazy they are every single Sunday, and you see how they get dressed up and stuff like that. So it's fun to be able to see that side of how the fans go about it. But I would say if I had to choose, I'd say probably college, just because how passionate I was and how passionate my family was for the Hogs and everything about college football.
Yeah, I was kind of going to say, it kind of seems like Arkansas, from what I've, researched and stuff, it seems like you guys have a lot more passion, the fan base and everything. It kind of seems like, since you guys don't have a lot professional teams and stuff in there, it's a lot more college football based, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let me hear Travis Scott or Future for you.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't really listen to a lot of rap music. I'm a guy, so I couldn't even. I would pick one, and someone would probably be like, "Why?" And I'd say I have no idea why.
Okay, you got a favorite artist?
Chris Stapleton is probably my favorite artist. Yeah.
Alrighty. So I got a few more questions here before we get into the real ones. If you could eat at any restaurant for the rest of your life, you had to eat at one restaurant. What are you picking and why? It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Think about it.
I would say it'd probably have to be a pizza restaurant, just because pizza is probably my favorite thing. It sucks because while I'm training for the draft right now, I don't get anything like that. But I would say probably Gusano's Pizza in Fayetteville. It's probably it's me and my wife's favorite spot to be able to go. We love it, and it's you can never go wrong with a little pizza. It always goes into your heart and makes you feel good.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of agree with that. The last one before we get into the ones here, you played linebacker. I think you played tight end in high school, right?
Yeah, it was like a slot receiver, but it was
okay.
I was a tight end body, but
tell me, if you could play a position other than linebacker, for the rest of your career, what would it be and why?
It'd be quarterback.
Okay, I like that. For what?
I want to be in charge. I want to be able to run the show. That's how I played defense. That's how I wanted to play defense. Because I wanted to be in charge. I want to make sure everyone's lined up. So if I could somehow change my body to be 6'3", 205, and be able to sling the football wherever I wanted to, I'd play quarterback. That's how I'd base it. I'd love it. I think I could play a lot longer than everybody else, just because bodies that were taken care of in the NFL, especially for quarterbacks. So I think I'd like to play quarterback if I played anything else.
I don't know, man. I feel like you could do it with the dual threat quarterbacks nowadays. I feel like you could be running back there, but
as a linebacker, my shoulders have taken a toll. I couldn't throw a ball 30 yards.
Okay. So I want to first off start, you played 6 years at Arkansas. You guys won, 2 games, I think, back-to-back in 2019 and 2020, and then 3 games in 2020, 3 games in 2020. And then this year you guys won 9-4. and had your guys' first bowl game since your career, I think. So tell me what that kind of was like, this year, and the transition between the team this year, and was there really like a certain point where you realized that you guys could be as good as you were this year?
Yeah, I think what really changed in our program and at the University of Arkansas was when Coach Pittman came in 2020. So he was named, I think, December of 2019, and then January 2020 was his first like full month. And whenever he came and he showed what it was to like not just talk about it. It was more about being about it and being able to say we're tough, and not just saying we're tough, but being able to go out there every single workout in the off season. I think what really stood out to us and when we figured out we were good and when we could have that 9-4 type season was our first game ever with Coach Pittman in 2020 when we played against Georgia. We were beating 7-5 at halftime. And I think people realized, like, okay, this is serious. We can be a good football team. And I think from then on is when we really just took a step and said, listen, like, no matter what happens, we're going to continue to fight and try to win every single game, just because we just went bat for bat with the number 4 ranked team, Georgia. So it was fun. It was a good year. We went 3-7 that year, but that off season, we would sit back and we'd say, listen, like, good. We were supposed to go to the Texas Bowl. Like, good. We met our goal of going to a bowl, but like, this year, let's go to a great bowl. Let's go where something Arkansas hasn't been in a while. So we just put, as leaders, as players, as the coaches, we were all in the same boat, and we all decided to be able to join in together and say, listen, like, this is our year. We're not waiting for another whole new cycle of kids who are going to end up being better than all of us that ever came there. So it was set in stone a long time when Pittman got there, that what we were going to do and how we were going to do it.
Definitely. I think you can see it. I mean, watching you guys on the field, he seems like one of those player coaches for sure. Second thing I wanted to kind of hit, you won the Burlsworth Award a month or so ago. Or tell me, from being a walk-on and coming in and getting full scholarship and now being, one of the captains, tell me what that kind of been like for you, and if you like that.
Yeah. So the process of walking on, it was something that it's really not for the weak-hearted and the weak-minded people. And I'm going to say that because I was one, but like, you can go and you can be with guys who, if you walked on at a university, something like Arkansas, and you stayed there for 4 years and played and battled your careers away, no matter if you got a scholarship or not, it takes a lot on you, because you see every single day people you think are better, or you think that you can be better than, or you think that you can do the same job that they're doing and they're getting paid for it. And you sit there and it hurts. It's hard. And you have self-doubt. But as a walk-on and as someone who's believing in yourself already, you have to go about it every single day and say, listen, I'm going to believe in myself more than anybody else. And that's exactly what I did. My process started a long time ago. In 2016 is when I decided to walk on. And when I decided to walk on, I said, listen, like, and this is me talking to myself, like, it was like, listen, you got to be able to be the biggest Grant Morgan fan and biggest Grant Morgan supporter of all time, because at some point in your life, anybody's on your side. So that's just what I did every single day. Just try to be so self-confident in myself that no one else could be able to do anything to be able to stop it. So whenever I earned a scholarship, it was great. It was a great honor. I felt like I finally had someone believe in me. And then when I was voted team captain, that was probably one of the biggest honors of my life so far. So because it's 119 other guys believing in you. And when you do it 2 years in a row, like, that's something huge. Like, you have 119 guys in that locker room saying, listen, I want him to be my captain. And that's just huge to me. That was one of the biggest honors that I've ever earned. And then to win the Burlsworth, that just showed right there, like, I believed in myself, and now everyone else believed in me, and they thought I was one of the best in the nation, and then ended up winning the award and being the best walk-on to ever walk on that year in the nation. So it was really cool. It was really excited to be able to have that way of ending my career at Arkansas. But I'd say it was exactly, I expected it because that's what I wanted to do. But I was so in awe of how it all played out.
Yeah. No, you talk about that confidence. I mean, I think that's what a lot of the greats have, especially defensive players. You have to have that type of mindset, that you're better than everyone else and that you can do it. Tell me, obviously through all of this, I'm sure the excitement's kind of hit you. What has the draft process been like for you, and what's it like being this close to a dream come true?
Yeah, it feels like it's so close, but it's so far away. These days are passing by so slow. But the thing is it's probably because I'm away from home. I haven't been away from Fayetteville in a long time. I'm out in Tampa. So It's been good. The process has been great. So after season, we came straight down here. I've been training here in Tampa, and it's been fun. It's been hard. It's been definitely hard not being able to just go and eat whatever you want, not being able to just go and hang out with friends. But the process has been definitely fun. I've been seeing a lot of good things going on about it. I went to the NFLPA Bowl out in Cali at the end of January. And it was a great experience. It was fun. It was being able to learn from guys like Vontaze Burfict, who played for a long time and did really well in the NFL, and hearing how he coached and how he taught us to play the game. It was really cool to see that and see what type of guy he was. And other coaches, like Coach Woodson, who played in the league for 20 years and got Hall of Famer. So seeing guys like that and being able to learn from them, it was a fun experience. And being able to now see a dream come true, be able to happen now, and just be able to go to Pro Day and then go from there and be able to see what I can do and see what people will like me and see where it goes from there.
Yeah. You hit on, the PA Bowl there and being with Vontaze Burfict and Rod Woodson and a bunch of other Hall of Famers that they got there. Tell me, what was that like for you? And was there anything that they kind of gave you particularly that, stood out?
Yeah. It was really fun to see how they talked X's and O's, because when you're in college, you're kind of all together and it's all team oriented, and it's like, we all are trying to do this thing to be able to win this game, or we're trying to go to a bowl game. And the NFL, and they straight up told you, like, in the NFL, it's whoever's smart is going to play the longest. It's not just everyone here is good athletes. Everyone here can make plays. You got to be able to learn everything and learn it quick and make sure you can retain it to be able to go on and make the next play. So it was fun to hear how they taught it and how they went about learning the X's and O's, just because it is we were there for a week and we had to learn a whole defense. So it was cool to be able to get the playbook and say, listen, go learn it. So that's the first thing I did, is sit down and write down on that first day and learn the whole playbook. And so it was really fun to be able to hear how NFL like verbiage is and how they go about it.
Okay. So you're a really well-rounded linebacker. I know you're good at basically every part of your game, I feel like. Tell me, aspects of your game that you feel like you need to improve on going into the NFL.
Yeah. I think the aspect of my game is being a third down linebacker. I think the one thing that we never did a lot and at Arkansas this past year was blitz me, or not blitz me, but we would blitz me instead of playing me man-to-man a lot on the running back. Yeah. And we did do man-to-man. We would always do like a Reggie type man-to-man where it's 2-on-1. So we always had help. We always had like me with somebody else guarding a running back. And so I think the one thing I need to work on is probably just more man-to-man on myself, and just being able to show, like, listen, I can do this. We just didn't show it a lot in college. So when I went to Cali, I did well, and I got a lot better as I went to Cali, and it showed, and did a lot better throughout that time. So it was a good experience.
Was that aspect of your game, like coverage abilities and stuff, like brought up to you a lot, from the coaches or any scouts or guys you were talking to throughout?
No, not really. It's probably just more in my head, honestly. But because throughout the years, I actually did really well in coverages throughout my time at Arkansas. Like, I had picks, I had a lot of knockdowns. So, like, I don't know. I think it's just more in my head, just knowing that we didn't play a lot of man in college.
Okay. For a linebacker, I'm sure you've kind of heard a lot too. You're a little under 6 foot, I think. Have you heard, concerns about that a lot throughout the whole process too? And what kind of things do you have to say to people that question those things, like size?
Yeah, I haven't really heard anything about that at all. I thought it would be. I think probably more people talk about it are the fans, or like people who think they have opinion more than anything. Because I think the coaches, they don't really care. They just care about if I'm around average size, like, they care about how well a football player you are. I'm sure there's old school coaches out there that do, but everyone I've talked to, they've all been, if you can play football, then it doesn't matter. So that's kind of especially all the scouts and everybody I've talked to down at NFLPA. If you can play football, that's what matters to them. If you go look, you can look in the league right now. You got like David Long Jr., who's 5'11". You got Bolton, who's 5'11".
Bill Perryman, yeah.
You
got a lot of guys like that.
Really high level right now. So I don't think it's not going to be at the end of the day. It's who's going to make the play, and that's the person they're going to put on the field.
Yeah. You're a strong leader, watching your game. Tell me what your mentality is like, on the field as a linebacker and a defensive player, as a leader. And, do you ever talk trash a lot?
Yeah, I definitely do. I talk trash, but it's not a get my team in trouble, talk trash. It's don't talk to my teammate. We're worried about us. Go worry about yourself. So the way I play is the same way I am as a person. I'm very passionate. I give my all in everything I do, and that's exactly what I worked my butt off throughout that offseason to be able to have that opportunity to play on that Saturday. So that's exactly how I treat it. I give my all during that game. I lead. I make sure everybody's in the same position that we're supposed to be in. I make sure everybody's lined up perfectly. So that's just kind of how I do it. I wouldn't say I'm over the top. I don't like talking trash, but if it comes out, it comes out, and I wouldn't be shy to say anything that I say on the field out in public.
I don't think you're shy at all. I see a lot of clips and highlights and stuff. You guys pointing at guys and, calling guys out and stuff. And it's great to watch.
It's all fun and games.
So, you were voted captain, as you said, the last 2 years. Tell me, as a leader, what you kind of learned and grew as a leader from, just those last 2 years and having to step up like that.
Yeah. I would say I grew more as a person who people could come and talk to. I think at the beginning, I feel like I was always the leader. But I think as I became more of a leader who was playing a lot more and doing really good on the field, I think people could come and talk to me and say, listen, how did you get here? What did you do to get to these steps? And it was more of my interaction with teammates is what really, I think, got better throughout the 2 years of being a captain, was people wanting to talk to me and me being able to want to talk to them and be able to say, listen, this is what I did. This is what it can help you. I think the first couple of years, when I was playing, I didn't really try to interact as much. I just kind of focused on me. And that's what I think grew these last couple of years as me being a captain, is I showed that I'm there for everybody and not just for myself. And I think that helped me a lot and it helped our team.
Yeah, no, you're vocal, and that's what you got to be as a leader. Especially a defensive guy, you got to be able to rally the guys together. So you did return for this season after, the speculation about the draft last year. Tell me, just from this season and this bowl season, tell me, what did you gain and what did you improve in your game personally?
Yeah, I think 2020 year I played really well, and statistics will say, I had a better year. But I think if you watch linebacker play, I think I'm a way better linebacker now. When you watch block destruction, I think that's one of the things I joined with our other guys like Hayden and Bumper. We got up with our linebacker coach and we would do block destruction drills every single day. So what we did is that was one thing that I got a lot better at. Instead of running around blocks like I would do in 2020, because I had a hurt arm, I kind of had to. I used it more in 2021, and I got to be able to be more kind of vicious with how I used my hands, or more how I would hit people. So I think that's what you would see more of the big hits this past year in 2021 instead of just normal good tackle rolls and stuff. Yeah. You saw kind of more collisions. So I think that's one thing that I did a lot better, and I made my presence more known in 2021. Okay,
I can see that for sure. So we talked about earlier a little bit, your coverage abilities. You are great in space, I feel. Tell me, as a linebacker, is that something you've always been good at? And is that something that playing receiver in high school maybe helped out with a little bit?
Yeah, I wouldn't say receiver probably helped it out a lot. But that wasn't something I was ever really just amazing at. I never really had just a knack for open field tackling and stuff. I had to work on that really a lot my redshirt year and the next year. I made sure that there was a couple guys my redshirt year and the next year that I would grab after practice, and we'd stay after practice and do open field tackling every single day. Like Dion Edwards, Demetrius Walker, D-Walk. So we would stay after practice and we would do open field tackle drills. So we'd sit there and I would tackle them and then they would tackle me, and then we would just go back and forth just to get better at that. And it just grew, and it took into a habit, and it just became something that just was easy to do. And don't get me wrong, I still miss tackles. Everybody misses tackles, but that's just something that I'll continue to build on and continue to grow and get better at too. Okay.
You talk about before this year, being unranked and then coming in and beating Texas and who else did you guys beat? Texas A&M and a couple other ranked teams. What was that kind of like all season and kind of being able to outdo the expectations?
Yeah, we beat Penn State too, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
But we beat. It was Texas A&M, Mississippi State later. But no, it was the way when we beat Texas, what's crazy is before that game, we expected to beat Texas. We were going, listen, guys, we're going to beat Texas.
Yeah.
we're gonna go and we're gonna show them what the SEC is about. So that's what we expected to do. I think after the A&M game is when we realized, okay, guys, we can be a really good football team. That was the game that said, listen, like we just held a top 10 team to 10 points, but 7 points as a defense, and we just did it convincingly. So it was a win that we were like, listen, guys, no matter who we play, it doesn't matter. LSU is another one. So it was Mississippi State was fun just because we knew what exactly they were going to do. We knew LSU, they were a little down in their O-line and their whole team really at that whole time. So we knew we just had to go and take business. But it's hard to play in Baton Rouge at night. And so it was really I mean, it's a rival game. So when you can go 3-0 in trophy games throughout the year, throughout our rivals, and then win the bowl game and make it 4-0 in bowl game trophy games, like that's something that you're going to always remember as a Arkansas player.
Yeah. So you did hit, your head coach, Sam Pittman, earlier. I've seen a couple clips. You got targeted, or you got called for targeting in the Rice game, I think, and he was on the sidelines chirping and screaming at refs and stuff. He definitely seems like a great players coach. Tell me what it's kind of like to be able to play under him and what that does for you as a player and believing in your coach and your team as well.
Yeah. So Coach Pittman, he's just genuine. That's how I always describe Coach Pittman like what you see is what you're going to get. He would talk to you is the same way he would talk to the players, same way he talked to media. He's a guy who he doesn't really have anything to hide, and that's what we needed as Arkansas players. We need someone to come in there and just tell us the truth. Someone that'd be like, "Listen, this is what I need from you. This is how I need you to do it." And that's what it translated to our game. It translated to us wanting to play for him super hard, and whatever he wanted, it made us just go harder for him. So it was a great career, but the way we finished it with Coach Pittman being the guy, like it was fun to be able to say I played and be able to have that as a connection now.
For sure. So you do play in the SEC. I'm sure you see a lot of freak athletes throughout your time. Tell me, throughout your whole time in Arkansas, who's the freakiest guy you've seen with Arkansas?
Like played at Arkansas or just who we played?
You could do both.
Okay. By far, freakiest guy I've ever seen at Arkansas is Traylon Burks. The thing that people talk about is his catches and like the things that he's done. Y'all have not seen half the catches that he's actually made. His catches in practice are insane. Like he'll be catching toe tappers on the side, one-handed. He's a freak athlete. I'm excited to see how he does. Well, he's going to be doing great. I think he should be the first receiver taken off the board. I think he could be a first pick type guy. That's how good he is and how good his team's going to be when he's there. I think one of the freakiest players I've played against, Tua was really good. He pieced us together. Alabama had a couple of linemen that were studs. They were good throughout the year.
Okay. And then you look at keep going.
No, I was just going to say any O-lineman from either Alabama the last 2 years, like Hill from Bama this past year, he was 6'10" or whatever. Like he's a freak.
Okay, no, that's for sure. Obviously, you can see that. When you talk about best players, who are some of the best players you've been at with your time in Arkansas that played with you guys?
There's John Ridgway, who's coming out with us, this nose tackle. He's one of the best players. I think if he would have had another year, like 2 years at Arkansas with us, I think we could have been a really good defense with Jonathan Marshall a year before. And obviously Traylon Burks, like I just said, like he's a freak. Like so, It was good to play with him. KJ could be that guy that everyone talks about. KJ realistically could have a chance to win the Heisman, and I firmly believe that. That's how our quarterback. So it's cool to see him, and I think he could be a freak of an athlete and a player there at Arkansas.
Okay, you go into so I think you wore 31 throughout your whole year at your whole career at Arkansas, right?
Yep.
And then you wore 51 at the NFLPA Bowl. Tell me, is there a number you're eyeing for the NFL?
I'm not. I've never once picked my number throughout my whole probably life. So I was always just given whatever number, and that's just what I've stuck with it. So I'll make the number. I guess the number doesn't make me.
Okay, so 31 was just it was the number you liked and picked?
Yeah, when you're a walk-on, you pick a number, so you just kind of give.
Okay. It looks good on you, so.
I appreciate it.
we're going to wrap it up in the next few questions. So tell me, obviously, you still got a lot of this offseason left. Just say some things that you've been looking forward to most this whole offseason and that, yeah.
Yeah, really just being able to change my body, focusing more on getting healthy and staying healthy. This draft process is fun because it changes like literally what my life is. It goes from being a student athlete to now I'm literally just a football player, and I have to find other things to be about and give back to the community in different ways and start my own foundation and go from there. And I'm excited to be able to do this different time of life and be able to find out where I'm moving to and where I'll be living. So
I'm sure it's exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I want to hit, did you have a favorite NFL team growing up, Grant?
I did, yeah, Cowboys.
Oh, the Cowboys. Okay. So I did want to attack college football a little bit too for the last question. I'm sure since you were a walk-on, you might have a little bit of a different perspective on this. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on NIL and with all these deals and stuff. I feel like a lot of people in the media have been bashing it lately, but I'm all for players getting their money. So I just want to hear what your thoughts on the NIL has been since the past.
Yeah, I think you can have any viewpoint you want on it. I think at the end of the day, if you look at people with academic scholarships that don't play any sports, they go to academic scholarships and they get a full ride because they're smart, and they can go to University of Arkansas. They can also go from there and they can go give lessons and tutor lessons saying, I'm Grant Morgan, I'm the tutor. I got a 36 ACT, blah, blah, blah. They can go get paid for that by like tutoring other kids. If I, Grant Morgan, got a full ride scholarship to Arkansas and I wanted to go give a tutor lesson for football, I can't do that. So NIL, I can finally say, listen, I can give you lessons for Grant Morgan. I can be able to say, hey, you can pay me now for me giving your kid a lesson of football. So that's my main reason why I think it should. We finally get our name. We finally get to use our name. We've built this huge platform. And people can say, well, oh, these guys are just going to make money and not do anything about it. That's life. There's NFL guys that make money and don't do anything with their money. Yeah. So when you get guys who want to be able to give back, like I use my platform, like my whole life, I've wanted to have a huge platform because I wanted to give back and I wanted to be able to do things for the community. So one of the NIL deal things I did was raise money through a shirt fund. I had like a 14-day shirt sale, and I started. We sold shirts, and every bit of the money went to the foster care system, Northwest Arkansas Shelter Home, and it was a great little process, and it went well. And so that's my take on NIL. I think it's something that should be used. There's definitely going to be people that take bad advantage of it because there's bad people that can use it, but there's going to be so much good that comes from it. So I'm excited for it. I'm glad it got passed. For sure. No, I like that take too, because that's kind of how I feel on it. I feel like the transfer portal might have like kind of mixed with it, caused some problems, but I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like student athletes should be getting paid. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. And the same way with COA, when cost of attendance checks was started, everyone goes, oh, UCLA is going to be able to get so much more cost of attendance. And they're saying the same thing now, like, oh, Arkansas might give more NIL. It's going to all plan out, and it's going to be in 10 years, no one's going to be talking about how to change the game. So it's all going to be normal by then. I agree. Thank you for that last answer. Thank you for everything, Grant. It was really great talking to you. I'm going to be rooting for you this whole offseason, so good luck with everything. Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Excited for it, and thank you. For sure. See you, Grant. I appreciate it.